Welcome to episode number 3 of building the Tjalk or the Unity. So we got pretty far last episode and we are, at least I am about ready to glue the ship onto the base. So let's get to work. So the mainsail is on. Let me just switch the camera. I can show you up close what it looks like now. It's probably a better idea. So this is what she looks like at the moment. So the mainsail over here, it's already fixed in place. And I'm in the progress of hanging the other one. So let me just show you what I did. So first of all, as you can see here at the bottom, there's a bit of a gap between the, what is this thing? I forgot about it. Boom or something. There's a gap between the boom and the sail. Basically, I made the sail the wrong shape. Somehow my template was wrong. Also, I'm just pointing out the mistakes now. I'm not unhappy, by the way. But up here, you'll see that the sail is a little bit too short. It hangs a bit too far towards the mast. But actually it is supposed to be much closer to the mast as well. Because like with the nails, there's this twisting line going up the mast and through the sail. There wasn't enough space to actually do that. So yeah, this is actually the first time that I look at it from the screen. It's much easier to see where I went wrong, and somehow I think that so if the boom over here was a bit lower, then it would be parallel to the bottom of the sail, so that would be alright. I think I also could modify the sail to be a little bit more like that and closer to the mast. I think it's actually pretty close to the shape that it's supposed to be. It's just that up here it's too small. It should have been a lot, this part up here should have been a lot longer. So I still have the template, as you just see what happened there. Also, so I had to trick things a bit to make the sail fit in the way that it does. So I'll just go a bit closer now. So this line over here, it's pretty tight. I don't know if it shows on the screen, but it's like, yeah, it's almost like the string on a violin. Well, not almost, but it's tight. It actually helps in putting the mast forward a little bit like that, so it creates a bit of space for the sail. And I needed it because over here it's attached with a hook to the boom. And you can see that in the length there is not that much space left, so I needed a bit of maneuvering space. So, not the best work, but still I kind of like the sail the way it is. You know, I like the letters on it, and it's nice and, you know, sort of tight. I don't know what the right word is. I kind of like it. So let's zoom in a little bit. So here I attached this, I don't know what it's called, but it's fixed in place now. Especially that part over there was glued in place. So that keeps the boom low and also in place. So yeah, that looks okay. Up here there's also this piece of wire. Oh, here this piece of rigging. It pushes this mast, this boom up as far as it can go. So it keeps it tight in place. So I'm also pretty happy with that. What I don't really like is this part. As you see, all the lines are running in a sort of diagonal way. And when I was stitching, I made sure that I was putting all the holes right between the holes in the, what's this, the boom or a gaff? I think it's a gaff. And yeah, so it didn't line up properly because the sail went a lot more that way than I anticipated. Yeah, also the curvature is not right. Yeah, basically I don't really like this part. But I was just finishing the model, so it's an experience. And next time I'll put some more effort into it. I really would like to, learn how to do this properly. Also, it seems that this is not really curved, but more like two straight edges with a corner in it. So I also need to learn some sewing. But yeah, still the overall look is cool. You can already see what it's going to look like when it's finished. Of course, there will be base on it, and these flaps at the side will be there. But yeah, it's a good preview. Let's finish the last bits and then it's done. So I am in the process of installing the leeboards. So this one is actually almost installed. So it's fixed by now. I glued it to the, you can still see it there, it's support bracket. Also there is a, can I show that? Oh yeah, over there. See, there's a hook in brass, or yeah, it's brass I think. And it goes through the keyboard, and I added this, yeah, I think it's a cog, that's what it's called, so yeah, I think it's called that. That's a creative solution, I kind of liked it that way. It's funny. So on the drawings it says that there's some sort of a star-like decoration, and I made this out of it. I like it. So this is over here, it's drying, so as also always I glue the knots that I tie, because that makes them a bit more sturdy. So later on, let me point at something. Where is it? Yeah, here. So this piece of wire is going to go through that block, and then through that block, and then again through that block, and then it's going to go around this thingy over there, and then it's attached to the other thingy over there. So well, that's what it's supposed to be. Oh, I can show you on the reverse side, that's already done. That's what it's going to be like. Actually here the wire was a bit short, so I lengthened it a little bit. It's not the prettiest solution, but well, it's not a really pretty ship after all, so I'm just finishing it. So I'm working on the flags. So this is the same flag that I installed on the Neeltje Jacoba. The Neeltje has been in the sun for a while, and all the ink is fading away. So I had to try something. So this one is varnished. As you see, it sort of got crooked. So I'm gonna try and iron it, see if I can flatten it out again. It's an experiment. This is a failed experiment. I think this side shows it better. Yeah. See, all the ink went running. I sprayed, I don't know what it's called, but it's a water-resistant clothing protector over it, just as an experiment. And this was a bad idea. So this one is going in the bin. But I'm hoping that that one will be flat again after I iron it, and then I can see if that one lasts a bit longer in the sun. Probably I won't install it, but just put it somewhere in the sunshine and see what it does with the ink. And if it works, I'll install it. If it doesn't, then figure out something else. I also have to replace the flags on the Neeltje, of course, so I can't have that as it is. Alright, back to work. So I am fixing the ship to the base. I forgot that below here there was a huge gap between this part of the base and the ship itself. So I had to fix that. You can see by the dust and by the lack of paint there that I basically I cut off a lot of the hull over here until about there. So now it seems to be fitting okay-ish. I think I'm close to breaching the hull, so I think I'd like to stop here. But it's not recommendable to do it at this phase in the project because, as you see, the ship is almost done and now it's covered in dust. The sails are dirty and that the hull is still covered in dust, so I have to clean that. Also, I thought perhaps I'd show you how I attempt to align the ship with the base. So let me show you. Actually, it seems that the system has moved a bit, so I have to do it again. But basically, I have this green thing over here, and it has these squares on it and parallel lines. So I can position the base so that it's parallel to this yellow line. I can do the same thing roughly from the top. So try to align the ship with these yellow lines, and it appears to be a little bit like that right now. So I will try to, well, I moved it back already a little bit, so this seems to be okay. So then I check whether it's perpendicular, at least approximately. So I take my trusty triangle and let me try to film it. I position it like that against the hull. So that seems to be okay-ish. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it's alright. Maybe I'll shift it a little bit, but I'm not unhappy. That's okay. So that way, at least it looks nice from a distance. I positioned the ship with the leeboard and the front of the base about the same length. It's always a bit of an estimate where to put it because there will also be a rudder at the end here, so it will be a little bit longer. But I think this way it's nicely positioned on the base. So yeah, I should probably not tell you that 2 days ago I thought I already fixed the hull, and I cut something off, I repainted it and it was fine. And this morning I put it on the base and it was terrible. The same hole as before was still there. So I guess I didn't pay proper attention, and considering the amount that I still had to take off, I really did not pay proper attention when I was doing that. But anyway, I think it's alright like this. I'm going to clean it up, paint it again, and then paint it again 6 hours from now. Tomorrow I glue it to the base, and then it's done, I think. So yeah. So I thought I'd show you what the base looks like while that one is drying. So it's dirty here, see, there's still dust on it. So on the bottom I added these bits of padding, so they are I think you usually put them under the feet of couches and chairs to protect the floor. So I put them on here as well because this one has a curve to it. So these bits of padding, they take care of the curve and make sure it sits flat on the whatever it's standing on. Also, it keeps these screws off the ground. And someday, if somebody is going to take this apart, they're going to hate me for using both a flat head and a Phillips head. But I had only 2 of each, so I thought I'd just do it like this. Nobody's going to take it apart. But these are the small things that are going to make other people annoyed with me. But well. But all in all, let me just make some space. Now if you see it standing there, it's pretty sturdy. It's not moving about, so I quite like it. Let's just see if we can film below it. See, the screws are off the ground. Here too. Here. Yeah, they are off the ground. Let's hope they stay off the ground when the ship is on it, but it's good enough. I glued the Tjalk on its base, and you can perhaps hear from the tone of my voice that I'm not very happy with the result. As you can see at the back, there's a huge gap. Remember that I was taking away wood there to prevent a gap from happening there, which is now closed up. So placing the ship on the base was not so easy, because basically you have to put glue on these metal parts, and then lower the ship onto it. And I think I put it on slightly off-centered. So yeah, it rested on the base. It rests on the base now in a different way than when I was shaping the hull. But still, at some point it's stuck to the base, so you can't change it anymore. So I have to accept it the way it is. At least it seems to be stuck pretty well. But yeah, I'm not gonna try this type of base again. There's too little flexibility in it, and yeah, I have to clean it up a bit as well, I see, because the glue sort of reacted to the metal parts of the base. So yeah, oh well, it's an experiment. You live and learn, right? Yeah, to add insult to injury, look at how wrongly it is placed on the base. It is completely off-centered. That's terrible. I am seriously considering ripping it off. Ah, this is nasty. So I decided to repair it. I took a bit more serious approach. So I've added some masking tape to show where the base should be attached to the ship. Also, I can't show you on the camera, I think, but maybe you can just see over there. There is a black mark that shows where the middle of the base should be. So it allows me to line out the ship. So I did the same thing as before. So the base is lined out with this yellow line over here. And this also helps me to look at the ship like this and see if it's straight-ish. So that's, I'm just checking on the camera, but it's okay-ish. I think it could be a little bit more like that. And of course, I have to double check everything now. I touched the ship. But I also checked again whether this is perpendicular. And you can see that it's just, I think, a little bit off. So the ship is leaning that way a little bit. But I don't think I can fix that because, well, the hull is uneven. But it's only slightly. So, well, I'm going to try and glue it on like this. Let's see how it goes. So that's it for episode number 3 of building the Tjalk. It's actually finished now, so gluing the hull on the base the second time worked pretty well, so that's looking great now. I made a separate video just to go around the ship, just a short video, so that if people are not interested in my mumbling and building stuff, then they can just watch that video. So feel free to do that after this. Thanks again for watching. well, if you liked it, do the thumbs up thingy, subscribe if you want to, and I'll be back in a while with next project. I don't know what yet, but we'll see.